Jill, I know what I wanted to ask you. Bashar, what's this I understand about your birthday on 11/11, November 11th?
The idea of our time frame overlaps your time frame so that there is a corresponding date that represents my birthday, as best as can be translated into your calendar. It's not that we have the same kind of calendar, but we are simply saying that the idea of our reality as it overlaps with yours will create a coincidental date that is represented by the date 11/11.
I find that very interesting because my wife and I decided very strongly to get married on 11/11.
Yes.
And we're having our first anniversary in a couple of days on 11/11.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
For us, the idea represents something similar to the word in our ancient language, Eli.
Eli.
Which is, in that sense, a reflective mirror.
Eli.
Yes, Eli.
Eli.
The reflection.
And if you say that backwards, it's Eli.
Yes.
Interesting.
And so is 11/11.
Very interesting. I was at the gym, say about 6 months ago, and I was listening on my iPod to one of your talks, and
iPod, all right.
iPod, one of our recording devices,
yes.
playing back. If you guys haven't heard about it up there, then I mean it's all over the place over here.
Wow. You
iPhones?
see, we have Wii pods.
Ooh, I like that. I like that. That's good. Ooh, I like that a lot. Wii pods. So your pods are like really small? Is that what, I'm sorry. Anyway. Okay, what I wanted to ask here. I'm sorry. Too much sake at lunch. What I wanted to ask was,
yes.
So I was working out at the gym, and all of a sudden I heard you say on the talk that you have interacted with us physically,
yes,
in some cases, and then we've forgotten.
Yes.
I found myself laughing.
Oh,
I
why
instantaneously went into laughter.
Yes.
And I don't know why. And I wanted to ask you, did you and I actually meet at that instant when I heard that on my iPod?
Not as you understand time.
Okay, I'm talking about the physical time that we're
Yes, I understand what you mean. So not as you mean time, not at that instant exactly.
I see. And because you and I have talked about this before about us having met several times in the past.
Yes.
And me not having any, not even a sense of time loss, which I hear is common.
No, you will have no sense of time loss in this. The meetings take place in a time-suspended arena.
Ah, okay. Have you ever shown up at any one of these gatherings to date?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Cool.
Whatever temperature you want.
Several years ago, I was actually talking with April, and she mentioned that you actually initially talked to us probably 10, 20 years ago about 3 laws, not 4 laws, and you have since discovered a 4th law.
Yes.
Did I get that right?
We understood the 4 laws, but it wasn't ready to be applied to our conversations.
I see. So you had known about it, but
yes,
it was only appropriate to talk about the first 3 or whatever the 3 were.
Yes. We had to establish a baseline before we went into the idea of altering that.
I understand. Okay, good. Okay, that's it for me. Thank
you,
you, sir.
sure?
Appreciate it. Well, I got some more, but I'll give somebody else a chance.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, Bashar.
And you, good day.
My question is, where does existence come from?
Itself. It doesn't come from anywhere. Your question itself does not fit in the idea that you are asking. Existence does not come from. Existence only is.
How come there's just not nothing?
There is, but even nothing is something. Nothing is different from our perspective than non-existence. Is that what you're actually referring to when you say nothing?
No, I mean, it seems like way back when somehow,
there is no way back when, except within existence. You may be confused because the idea is that time is subject to existence. Existence is not subject to time. Time is a concept within existence. Existence is not a concept within time.
It seems like there had to be some start to it all.
I know it seems like that to you. And within existence, there are starts and stops. Yes. But not to existence itself.
How could it ever get created?
It didn't. It just is. Creation happens within existence. All the concepts you can possibly imagine about beginnings, creations, starts, and so forth are concepts within existence. There is no outside to existence.
Is it not possible to imagine with the human mind how
No.
the totality of existence?
No, because you cannot imagine non-existence. Try it.
I'm trying.
You can't.
I'm having a hard time.
You can't. It's not possible. Understand, again, pay attention to the definitions. Non-existence. There could be, by definition, no expression, no experience. Non-existence means no experience whatsoever. So you can't experience it, and especially then, of course, you can't express no experience. The only thing you can express the experience of is existence. There is nothing beyond it, outside of it, before it. It just is and is not subject to the concepts of outside, beyond, and before. Those are concepts within existence.
So is existence growing and evolving itself?
In a sense, within itself, but not as itself.
I don't understand.
I know. Existence is. It is all that is already. But within itself, it can have the experience of growing and expanding and learning and becoming more and more and more infinitely. Nevertheless, even though it's having that experience within itself, it itself is unchanging. Because it simply is.
Wow.
Does that make sense?
Not entirely.
I know. But that's all right.
Okay. I do have a second question.
Yes.
Just curious, what is an average day for you like? Like, what do you do all day?
Oh, let's see. Breakfast at 9.
How do you organize your days, or how do you...
Synchronistically. We don't organize, we don't plan.
What might an average day look like?
I'm getting there. First of all, I understand how you mean the term, but since we don't sleep anymore, we don't really have beginnings and endings to days anymore at all. And since we're not always on our planet anymore, we don't even necessarily go by things like sunrise and sunset anymore either. However, the idea of the so-called average day for me might be that I will be in contact with several different civilizations, establishing rapport and communications to allow for the continuation of relationships or even the beginning of them. I will also go on exploratory missions within spaceships, sometimes my own scout craft, sometimes what you call city ships or motherships, to investigate and explore various regions of the universe or other multiverse dimensionalities. Sometimes I will participate in the expression of art. Sometimes I will participate in the expression of song if it moves me to do so. Sometimes I will interact one-on-one with various beings. Sometimes I will communicate in the way I'm communicating now to all of you, with you and others as well. These are some of the typical quote-unquote things that are representative of my passion.
That does sound exciting.
I think so. Oh, wait a minute. I know so. There will be a little bit more of an extension of this idea when we get into our story after your next break.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, Bashar.
And a you good day.
Okay, so I have a question for you that I've been trying to figure out how I want to ask it. So I'm just going to ask as I do.
Yes.
When I was very little, in my understanding of time in this space, in this body now,
Yes.
I remember an encounter that I had with about 3 or 5 beings. And they lifted me up
Yes.
to the point of levitation.
Yes.
And they danced with me
Yes.
and spun me.
Yes.
And I looked down and was very cognizant of the fact that I was not standing on the ground anymore.
Yes.
And we were laughing, and it was really joyful and really fun. And very soon, it became really fast and really intense.
Yes.
And the beings began to crush me.
Crush in what sense?
In the sense that their grip was so tight that it hurt me
All right.
physically.
All right.
And I asked them to stop.
Yes.
Because they were hurting me, and
Yes.
they didn't.
Yes.
And they kept going.
Yes.
And in that instant, it was as if I knew that I was choosing to be open
Yes.
and to experience unconditional love
Yes.
and joy. However, I was so fearful that it was my beginning of my definition of what darkness was.
All right.
And my inability to express and be respected regarding what was true for me.
All right. They did not intend to hurt you. And on whatever level they are capable of expressing it, they would apologize. However, what you didn't understand at that point is that you were being shifted interdimensionally in a certain way. The rate of acceleration was very great in terms of that dimensional shift. They had to hold you very tightly so they wouldn't lose you. You understand?
I think so.
They simply had to hold on to you. They understood it may have caused discomfort, but it would have caused far more discomfort had they let go or even loosened their grip.
I understand that.
So, it wasn't intentional, but it was simply a side effect of experiencing a greater acceleration than anyone anticipated. And they simply had to hold on to you for your dear life, or you would have been lost. So they apologize. It wasn't their intention to harm.
Thank you.
All right?
So my question in addition to that is,
Yes.
for the majority of my time in this body, in this life,
Yes.
that I've chosen, I feel as if I've chosen to absorb.
Absorb what?
When I walk into rooms, I just feel like I absorb energy and
Yes.
people and thoughts and emotion, and
Yes.
I almost lose sense of what my true self is and what my true experience
But
is.
what do you want to do with that absorption? How do you want to apply it? How do you want to express it creatively in your life?
I don't know.
All right, well, you can take some time and figure that out.
Okay.
Because the absorption is important, but the expression is also important. You see, you are a transformer. So absorbing energy is one thing, but you transform it through yourself and then express it in a way that's unique to you and add your own energy to the mix. Add your own expression, your own creativity to the mix by following your passion. Does that help?
Somewhat, yeah.
Anywhere else you would like to take this?
Is there anything you have to offer more?
Is there any way you would specifically like to express your passion that you're not doing?
As a guide
In what sense?
to myself and to others.
How? Specifically, how? Through what methodology? Through what expression? Through what behavior?
Channeling.
In what way? There are many forms of channeling.
I haven't decided which one.
There is not one that stands out as more exciting to you than any other?
Movement and water.
All right. Then why don't you begin by exploring that without expectation and see where it leads? All right?
Okay, thank
Have
you.
fun.
Thank you.
Hi, Bashar.
And a you good day.
I want to tell you one of my absolutely knows.
All right. What do you know for sure?
I absolutely know that I have been anticipating this day happily and I want to thank you, and I absolutely know I love you.
We absolutely and unconditionally know beyond a shadow of a doubt that we love you as well.
I know. I have a question.
Yes, I thought so.
Although I'd like to stay in the love with you, I will ask this question.
Do not necessarily assume that asking the question takes you out of love with us.
Well, it does divert my attention a little bit.
Diversion of attention doesn't mean you're out of love.
Yes, okay.
There are many forms of expression of love.
I do now know this.
Thank you.
Earlier today, the woman discussed her experience with the fire.
Yes.
So I have a question.
Yes.
One frame, she is watching on TV the hillside close to her home that is burning.
Yes.
Gets some guidance,
Yes.
shifts her attention,
Yes.
and now is in another reality.
Yes, so to speak.
What happens to the what I'm having trouble with is understanding what happens to the consciousness that was in the reality that where it does burn.
It's still there.
Is that not part of her?
Yes, it's part of the oversoul. Not part of her, part of the oversoul in the way you mean it.
Yes, and I guess somewhere I have this idea that we're supposed to be integrative, so we have all of that. So I don't really understand how we shift our focus from, do you know what I'm...
Sometimes different realities in and of themselves, by definition, represent an integrated state.
Okay.
So it's not that you have to still have the attributes of the you in the other reality to assume you are integrated. It's that shifting to a more integrated reality can be represented in and of itself by a particular version of you. Does that make sense?
Yes, I guess I still have this idea, and maybe I can't understand it
Yes.
from... Is there still a consciousness alive in the place that burns?
Yes, of course.
Is that not part of her?
It is not part of her.
Okay.
It's part of the oversoul that gives life to them both.
So who is this part that chooses the focus?
The oversoul.
So the oversoul chooses to have conscious focus awareness somewhere and not put its attention otherwhere, but it still has...
Its attention is everywhere.
Okay.
The point is, however, is that for that parallel reality that you are now talking about, that she, quote unquote, has shifted to, her focus of attention in that reality makes it seem as if the other realities are now subsidiary. Okay. Just as you right now make it seem as if any other simultaneous reality is subsidiary. It doesn't mean that there isn't consciousness in all the other versions of you simultaneously. But for you right now in this reality, the definition of you in this reality makes the other reality seem subsidiary. So the definition of her in the reality makes the other ones seem subsidiary. When we talk about the idea of shifting, that is also to some degree an analogy.
Okay.
Because you all exist everywhere at once. So really, if you want me to be very precise,
Please.
No real shift has actually occurred per se. It's just that the oversoul is now choosing, in a sense, to allow that aspect of itself to have an experience that makes it seem as if all other subsidiary selves are, in fact, not really directly involved anymore. Does this make any sense to you in third-dimensional language?
Yes, so you're really saying that what I experience here is my consciousness is really so overshadowed by this the oversoul is picking on a sense. There's a combination.
That it's overshadowed. It's that you have made an agreement.
Right.
And in that agreement, you have agreed to experience certain things, a certain definition of that reality.
Okay.
And in that definition, oftentimes, you, because of the way you're used to experiencing reality, will make all other parallel simultaneous realities subsidiary. Now, she could have gone into that reality, so to speak, let's just say awakened to that point of view, also still very aware of the one in the other reality simultaneously that did not stop the fire, so to speak. You follow me? Mm-hmm. That can be done, and often actually is done. But because of the way your people have been taught to think about consciousness, often when that's done, you call them crazy and insane or multiple personality disorders. You follow me? Mm-hmm. It's not that you can't be simultaneously aware of more than one reality. It's just that you haven't practiced learning how to integrate them in a way, most of you, that allows you to make sense of that multiple awareness in each of the realities constructively. Those of you that can do that are not labeled insane, you're labeled genius. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. Or savants. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. Does this answer the question?
Yes, I have an additional question.
All right.
You've referenced the Oversoul.
Oversoul.
Let's say in this time and space of my life,
Yes.
are there other pieces of my Oversoul that I am interacting with here physically?
Simultaneous co-incarnations?
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.